Hi, hello there, it's Stinger Splash again with my third video looking at my TNA pay-per-view DVD collection. So this is 2009 to 2010. We have one that was left out of the Across the Line box set yesterday, which is Genesis, because it was the first of this year. Rhino and Sting, this is the last time Rhino was used in any sort of role on top. Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle had their rematch. And Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley had a really good X Division title tournament final, where Shelley finally won his first and last X Division title. The following month was Against All Odds, this is the start of the main event Mafia. I think he had a world title match with Sting, Kurt Angle, Brother Ray, and Brother Devon in a four-way. Abyss and Matt Morgan. The debut of Brutus Magnus on pay-per-view against Chris Sabin. Wasn't a bad show. Not a lot of star power though. A lot of big names went on the show. And you have Destination X, which had the return of Ultimate X there. You might notice as well, these are new sort of backs to them. They sort of changed their style and design in 2009. With a new distribution company, Navarre. This had Kurt Angle and Sting for the world title, Ultimate X with Shelley, Sabin, Consequences Creed, Jay Lethal and Suicide, AJ Styles v Booker T, Scott Steiner v Samoa Joe. It was a pretty decent show again. Then we had Lockdown, which is the only pay-per-view today that's actually comes in a slipcase. Not quite sure why. That had Sting and Mick Foley for the world title, where I was certainly shocked when I watched it live and saw Mick Foley become world champion. I never expected that. 3D and B-Money street fight, and Lethal Lockdown with Angle, Nash, Booker T and Scott Steiner in the main event Mafia against Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe and Daniels, as he was called at that point. He dropped the Christopher for some bizarre reason. Next up we have Sacrifice 2009, or Gears of War 3 on that cover. We had the Ultimate Sacrifice, which was all four wrestlers, Foley, Angle, Jarrett and Sting, put something up in the match for the world title. I think Sting won, and it meant that Angle had to stop the main event Mafia. B-Money wrestled the British Invasion here. This is British Invasion's first pay-per-view match for the company. The only other match really of note, Taylor Wilde and Daphne had a Munsters Ball, which is the last time they really used Daphne properly, which I think is a shame, because as Taz said, she is definitely zombie hot and she's the best thing they've got female-wise in that company. Here we have Slammiversary 7, with King of the Mountain, Foley, Angle, Jarrett, Styles and Joe. Sting against Matt Morgan, Daniels against Shane Douglas. This is where they brought back a couple of guys. They brought back Shane Douglas and they brought back Raven for matches on this show. Raven and Daphne wrestled Abyss and Taylor Wilde, and Daphne took a stick bump through some barbed wire and the cameras missed it, which was great. But it was an interesting show. Then we have Victory Road 2009 with a rather fetching cover. This is when the beautiful people were basically, the whole women's division was just beautiful people at this point. We had Angle and Foley for the world title, Sting against Joe, AJ Styles against Kevin Nash, and quite possibly the worst match of the year anywhere, Jenna Maraska against Charmel. Had no business being on Explosion, let alone on pay-per-view. And then we had Hard Justice with Angle, Sting and Morgan, three-way for the world title. Booker T and Scott Steiner against 3D for the tag belts. Mick Foley and Kevin Nash, which is a surprisingly good match, really. You had Homicide and Samoa Joe, and also Abyss against Jethro Holiday, who was Trevor Murdoch in WWE. He had his one pay-per-view match for them at that show. Then there's No Surrender. Steve Bobby Lashley was in by at this point. He wrestled Rhino, I think, on this show. which was going to be a cage match originally, then they changed their mind. Angle, Morgan, Sting and Styles in a 4-way for the world title. Joe and Daniels for the X Division title. And also Cody Deaner beat ODB for the Knockouts title. Sometimes TNA, they just definitely made themselves out to be WCW Mark II with some of the stuff they did. He was Bound for Glory, 2009, which had AJ Styles and Sting in. A little bit different this one because Sting actually didn't win the title. He usually did it Bound for Glory. It was Kurt Angle versus Matt Morgan, Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe in a submission match, Abyss versus Mick Foley in a Monsters Ball match. It was a 4-way tag match for 2 titles, like basically ladder match. All the titles were on the line in the Ultimate X match. It was a really stacked show actually, one of the better ones they had. Now here we have the first triple threat, but it still crossed the line, but they changed the package into this just one disc, or one case even, with 3 discs in, which is interesting because you know, the Turning Point 2009, they could have sold 10 times over. It was one of the best shows they ever did. They had AJ Styles, Samoa Joe and Daniels in a 3-way for the world title. Kurt Angle and Desmond Wolfe was a phenomenal match. You know, Amazing Red and Homicide had a really good X Division title match. It was just an incredible show. The following month they had AJ and Daniels for the world title. Kurt Angle and Desmond Wolfe had their 3 Falls match. British Invasion and Motor City Machine Guns had a really good World Tag Team title match, and they also had Feast of Fired. That was Final Resolution, and then the first pay-per-view 2010 against All Odds. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe for the world title. This was the first pay-per-view where they had Bischoff and Hogan had come in. They also had Team 3D against the Nasty Boys, and an 8-card stud tournament, one-night tournament, which the Pope won, and he never did become champion out of it. As you can see, the big focus of Genesis was Hulk Hogan. This was actually prior to Against All Odds. This is the January pay-per-view. For whatever reason, they didn't put that with the November and December pay-per-view 2009, because this was Hogan's first, you know, event. They wanted to make it separate. AJ and Angle for the world title was alright. D'Angelo Dinero, the Pope, and Desmond Wolfe had a good match on the undercard. And Sean Morley beat Daniels, which still to this day boggles the mind why they did that. Here's Destination X 2010. This one is the UK version because in the US this is actually an exclusive that you can only get from the rip-off merchants at TNA shop. Rip-off merchants because of the amount they want to charge just for one DVD in shipping. You know, you pay $15 for the DVD and $40 for shipping. This had Daphne and Tara. The last time Daphne got used, I think, on pay-per-view really, in a big way, for the women's title. Mr. Anderson and Kurt Angle, Abyss and AJ Styles, the world title. You know, this was sort of just the start of you know, the whole Hogan Bischoff era, and it didn't really get off to a good start. I guess it hasn't really ever been good, but there was a high point halfway through, I guess. Here we had Lockdown with AJ and the Pope for the world title, the really good Lethal Lockdown match. Yeah, Mr. Anderson and Kurt Angle in a really good match as well. Rob Van Dam and James Storm had a good opener. So it was a pretty decent show, Lockdown. It usually is. Then we had Sacrifice here. As you can see, the focus was on Van Dam, Styles, Anderson, and Jeff Hardy. This one had Van Dam and Styles for the world title, and Anderson versus Hardy underneath, plus I think a 1-minute Sting Jeff Jarrett squash. And also the band were back at this point as well. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Six Pack. The band wrestled Ink Inc. for the World Tag Team titles, and there was also a really good 3-way number one contenders match with the Motor City Machine Guns, Beer Money, and Team 3D. Then we had Slammiversary 8, where they decided to go with numerals like WrestleMania rather than just numbers. Sorry, letters. Then we had this one had Rob Van Dam and Sting for the world title, Mr. Anderson and Jeff Hardy against Beer Money, AJ Styles against Jay Lethal was a good match. Kurt Angle and Kazarian was the opener. This is where Angle was going through the whole company and said if he lost he would retire. And due to circumstances they got rid of that in the end. But this next one is Victory Road and No Surrender. This is the July and September pay-per-views. July one had a 4-way world title match with Van Dam, Abyss, Jeff Hardy and Anderson. Motor City Machine Guns and Bay Winnie for the vacant tag titles. This was the start of their awesome feud and one of the best tag team feuds in the last 10 years. Matt Morgan and Hernandez, steel cage match. Ric Flair v Jay Lethal was on that show. And then after they stopped the Hard Justice show to do Hardcore Justice, which is the next DVD, we then had No Surrender with the World Title Tournament semi-finals. Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy, half an hour of really good wrestling. AJ Styles and Tommy Dreamer in a I Quit match, and Doug Williams versus Sabu. Sabu's second X Division title match on a pay-per-view, the first one being years prior at a lockdown against Samoa Joe. Here's the Hardcore Justice. This is the August pay-per-view, 2-disc set. They decided to promote this one. Wasn't a great show. Would have been better if Van Dam had wrestled Jerry Lynn, but Lynn got an injury, so they did Van Dam and Sabu. Tommy Dreamer against Raven. Rhino won a 3-way, but I mean the show was riddled with problems. They couldn't use real names of wrestlers, or the names that we remembered. You had Tony Luke, Cajones, things like that. PJ Palaco, Too Cold Scorpio and C.W. Anderson should have gotten a job out of it, and they didn't, which is a real shame. Next up then we have Bound for Glory. This is one of the ones that just got 2 days ago. 10-10-10, which had Anderson, Angle and Jeff Hardy in the 3-way, and of course this is where Jeff Hardy turned out to be the leader of the Immortal group. Lethal Lockdown with Fortune against DV 2.0 with a surprise win for the old school Hardcore Brigade. Abyss and Van Dam. Monsters Ball was okay, I guess. Motor City Machine Guns and Generation Me had a good tag team title match. The show was sort of more about the finish of the event rather than anything else. And these are the last two of 2010. The last ones of this video. Turning Point and Final Resolution. Turning Point had Jeff Hardy against Matt Morgan, which was originally going to be Hardy and Anderson, but Anderson got injured, which took quite some time to get over. Jeff Jarrett wrestled Samoa Joe, and Abyss wrestled D'Angelo De Niro, and they did those same 3 matches on top. With the same 3 results. All the heels won on the Final Resolution show, which I never like that. Never do the same matches twice with the same results if you can, especially when it's all heels winning. No one wants to see that. Both shows also had Tara against Mickie James, and there was also a really good tag team battle match. Motor City Machine Guns against Team 3D was phenomenal, from what I remember. And then the following month, Motor City Machine Guns and Generation B, Full Metal Mayhem was awesome. And now, Motor City Machine Guns can't even get on television. It's just boggles the mind, really does. But anyway, that's the end of the DVDs. That's the end of 2010, and that's all the DVDs that they've released so far. Up next will be, no doubt, the first ones of 2011. I don't know if it's going to be under the twin pack or a triple pack. And then they'll be Lockdown out at some point as well, once they get to that one, which is the next big show after Victory Road. So that's the end of this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll probably make another video soon with maybe an update or maybe a general DVD Blu-ray update. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.